All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is January 24th. It is my birthday. And that's why I'm telling you it's January 24th. And here I am. I'm spending it with all of you, and there's no place else I would rather be. It's great to see your faces. Thank you so much for getting on. I am excited about tonight's topic, but then as I say that, when am I not excited about a Tuesday night Zoom or the topic or being with you guys? So it all pretty much sounds like I say the same thing every single week. It's great to see your faces. Thanks for spending my birthday with me. There. There has been a lot of news articles that have been added to the workstation. So much so that I don't even think that Cassie and Cynthia were like, I'm not even going to copy and paste and send these all over to Together We Sent. Just a message that says, go check your workstation. There's a lot of news articles. So same thing applies tonight. I'm not going to read through them to you or for you, but just make sure that you're up to date on the things that are going on in the workstation. Anybody celebrating anything else since I told you it's my birthday? Anybody celebrating or anybody have anything they want to shout out or say wahoo? Vanessa?
My birthday Saturday.
Yay! Awesome.
Claire turns 15 tomorrow morning.
Oh my gosh, 15.
That's
crazy.
And one other thing not Scentsy related for her cheer team took first place in their second SMAC competition, which is their athletic conference, which automatically puts them in districts. So I'll be in Milford on February 18th. Melissa.
That's right. I still owe you a text. That's awesome.
So,
how old were you? How old was Claire when you started Scentsy?
3. She was 3. Isaac was 6. Isaac will be 18 in June. So she's got 3 more years, and then she and I can be a Becca and Callie team. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Who else is celebrating something? Anything, big or small? Shout out. Debbie.
For the first time ever, I have 2 teammates going to World Tour, so I'm really excited. That's
awesome. Robin, weren't you saying that you were excited? You were excited for that reason too. You have teammates going to World Tour.
I do. I have 3, and I've only ever had 1. So
yeah, that's so exciting.
Really excited.
Good. And that we're going to be in person for once for a while.
Yes.
That's exciting too. Cass.
I'm also excited because I earned annual sales this month for the 3rd year in a row.
Yay.
Very exciting. And you did it 3 months early. So that is outstanding. Annual sales, to anybody that doesn't know, is selling 30,000 PRV from May 1st to April 30th. And so we've got 3 months left to earn that. And Cassie pulled that in. We have a lot of faces on this call, a lot of people on this call that will be approaching that, hitting annual sales as well. So, so we'll be doing lots of those shouts out in the coming months. Anybody else?
Anything? I just celebrated 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
16 years. Thank you for carving out a path for all of us, Rand. We appreciate it.
It's amazing to see how much it's grown over those years. It's a lot of fun.
It really has, hasn't it? Oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was going to say my 12 year is coming up in a little over a week. 12 years.
Yay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's a lot of us that joined in February. I joined in February. Anybody else joined in February? Not on the call. Okay. There's a lot of people that joined in February, especially those of us that have been in for a while. It was like February and August. There were a lot of joins, but you and Rand celebrate in January. That's awesome. Okay. Here's what we're going to talk about tonight. So did you see in the link or in the Zoom post, the link to print the calendar or bring your planner? Did you guys see that? Okay. Awesome. Now, for any of the leaders that have the planner that Debbie just held up, or Cassie's holding up, or Lydia's holding up, Lisa's holding up, Robin's holding up, Jackie, you guys have your planners. Your numbers are already in there. So the activity that we're going to do, you get to just cheer us on while we're doing it. Because your activity is already complete, but I still want you to hang out with us because we're going to talk about why it's so important that we're doing this. But for those of you that are coming to the call, you didn't hold up one of those planners and you did print a blank 2023 calendar, or you brought your 2023 planner with you, we are going to take a few minutes and we are going to fill in our 2023 planner or calendar with our 2022 numbers. Okay. So what I want you to do, and see, I need to do this with you as well, because I filled in numbers for a lot of our leaders, but I didn't do my own planner and my own calendar. And so I am going to do it with all of you, but we're going to open up to, actually, before we do that, I want to share something with you. Why are we doing this? That's a good place to start. So let me just share this with you really quickly about sales tracking and measuring results, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be writing down your numbers, your data from 2022 and putting it into 2023 so you have something to measure 2023 by. Yes, you can go back and refer to it on your workstation, but that isn't always in front of your face at all times. I want to start getting in the habit and routine of tracking our business, tracking our sales, being able to project how we're doing, being able to see how far we've come. I want us to start getting in the habit of having a place where we record this information. It's starting with your leadership team. We are all doing this year. And successful people do what successful people do. So you're surrounding yourself with successful people, each of you. I'm surrounding myself with successful people, each of you. Successful people do what successful people do. And we're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to revisit this and talk about this multiple times throughout the year. You've heard me at the tail end of last year talking about that sale a day calendar. We were doing it in November and December. We were tracking our sales every single day. I think Cassie went on like 50 day, 46 day, you're muted, but 46 day, sales streak where she had a sale every single day. 53.
53 from November 1st through December, whatever the heck that was.
That's awesome. So we talked about tracking our sales this year. Not only do I want us to track our sales, but I want us to be able to measure them against how we did last year. And so I'm going to set you up for success tonight. You are not going to leave this call and I'm not telling you, okay, here's what your homework assignment is going to be. This is me saying to you, we're going to work on it in class so you don't have any homework. Okay. Those were like the best news ever when your teacher said that. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to work on it in class so that when you leave class tonight, it's done and it's ready for you. So sales tracking and measuring results. If you can't measure, then you can't improve. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. When you think about this quote, it should immediately become apparent how true it is. Because if you can't measure something and define the measurable goals to establish the desired outcome, you can't possibly get better at it. For example, it's nearly impossible to lose weight without stepping on a scale once in a while to measure your results. If you don't step on the scale, you have no idea if you are succeeding or not. You have to have something to measure it by. Or it's like trying to improve your golf game, but never keeping score, so you really don't know if you're actually getting better or not. Or a more specific example, tracking your daily steps taken. Most of us have Apple Watches or smart watches that tell us how many steps that we've taken in a day. So tracking your daily steps, what I immediately noticed is that as soon as I began measuring my steps for each day, I had the desire to improve on it the next day. How many of you can say, yeah, duh, I know my watch tells me if I'm, I need to pick it up or I need to get moving or I need to take a breath or I need to stand, right? We have our watches that are reminding us. If I reached 10,234 steps on Monday and I measured them, I would want to do at least 10,235 steps on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I would want to do at least 10,236 steps. If Just the act of measuring my activity level led to me searching for ways to improve on it the next day. For example, during the walk I'd always take, I'd look for ways to make it longer. Or either I'd take the next street or I'd park my car a little further away and then finally make 2 full loops instead of 1. When I'm conscious of how many steps I'm trying to take, I am willing to put in a tiny bit more effort to surpass what I did before. But the only way that I can surpass what I did before is by knowing what it is that I did before. Okay. The main concept here is to stop running our businesses blindly. When we run our businesses blindly, we're coasting. We're not pushing ourselves to do better. We're not pushing ourselves to do more. We're not pushing ourselves to get another $10 or $100 on our paycheck. We aren't pushing because we don't know what we're pushing against. We don't know what we are competing against ourselves for. If you're not measuring performance, you're not measuring performance so that you can improve. And worse yet, you don't really know what you should be focusing on. It's like running around in a maze and you haven't kept track of where you've been and you're not sure what to do to get out. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to pull up your workstation. Okay, so log into your workstation. And I'm going to talk you through this while, and I can't see any of you while I do this. So if you all end up hanging out and leaving me, hanging up and leaving me, I won't even know it. I'll just be sitting here talking to myself. So somebody stay with me. All right, so go to your workstation, log in, and you're going to go to the reporting tab. And while, when you do go, okay, I'm going to have you navigate to there first, and then I'll show you what we're trying to achieve and what we're going to be writing down. Go into the workstation, go to the reporting tab, go to my performance. Would somebody type this in the chat for me? Just type in the chat the steps, just in case somebody's a little bit behind where we're going. So you're going to the reporting tab, you're going to my performance, and you're going to go to, this is the way I always do it, go to create downline report. That's going to pull up a report and it's going to show you numbers for January of 2023. What I want you to do is change that, scroll down and change that and select January of 2022 and hit run report. Okay. Then once you've run that report, thank you, Lisa. Here's what you're going to be writing down. And who's got, can you guys focus your attention really quickly on who has their planner handy, leaders, that you can just show? Okay, Lydia, you're the first one that I saw. Oh no, your screen blurs out, so never mind. All right, I see Cassie's really clear. So you guys take a look at Cassie's screen right now. Let me make her, oh, I can't make her big because she's not talking. Scoot it down just a little bit, Cass.
Hang on.
All right. So in the plan, Jody's holding hers up too. In the planner, we tracked PRV, TWV, team size, active frontline, and the number of new recruits that you got for the month. Those were the 5 pieces of information. Now, thank you, Robin. Those were the 5 pieces of information. It doesn't matter where you write it. If you're writing it in a margin somewhere, remember, this is for the whole month. So you don't want to write it in a particular day. You're writing it for the whole month. So you're going to write down what your PRV was for January of 2022. I'm doing it along with you. Just have to get a pen that writes. You're writing down your PRV number, your TWV number, your team size, your active frontline, and your number of new recruits. And then what you're going to do is once you have those numbers written down, you're going to go up and you're going to change your date to February of 22. You're going to flip your planner or your calendar to February of 23, and you're going to write that same bit of information on February of 2023. Does that make sense on what we're doing? Yeah? Anybody have any questions? All right, so we're going to take a few minutes to go through and do this all the way till December. And then when you're done, type done in the chat. It's going to be a little quiet unless if somebody tells us a story while we're doing this. I can't play music because if I play music, Zoom will not make our recording available because I don't have rights to the music I would play. So I can't even play us background music while we do this activity. Okay, so let's see. What do we put in there if we have, wait, if we are newer and do not have information to input? So if you don't have information to input for January, go to February. If you don't have it for February, go to March. Start in the month when you started having information to put in. And in some cases, you might not have a team size right now. You still, if you don't have a team size, I still want you to put team size 0. I want you to track exactly what your numbers say based on the first month that you became a consultant. Once you track all 5 of those for January. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Great. Okay, I'm going to write down numbers too. So I cannot see the chat. So those of you that are watching the chat, if you can help field questions, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
Thank you. And if there are any questions, you can read them out loud and share with the rest of us, just so that we can hear too.
I can tell you guys the amusing story of how I went down to visit my stuff in New Orleans this weekend and put it in storage and went through a bunch of my boxes to find my Scentsy business supplies that I had not brought with me, and had to bring my printer back through airport security.
Oh gosh.
And had to take it out of my suitcase, my whole printer, and put it through the X-ray machine and have all of the TSA agents look at me like I was crazy and ask me why I was bringing a printer through airport security. So it's all right.
Well, how many business cards did you hand out to the TSA agents?
I gave out a bunch of scent circles that I also fished out of my boxes. And the girl at the ticket counter was so nice because my suitcase was overweight because I had put so many catalogs in it that I had to end up buying a duffel, like a Southwest duffel bag that I could like take stuff out and put it in. So that I didn't have to pay the extra $75 because my bag was like 7 pounds overweight. And I mean, I took up a good 20 minutes of this time, and she was so nice and she was so patient with me, and she even tried to help me close my suitcase by helping me sit on it.
Aw.
And her name was Mimi, and I gave her 2 scent circles, a catalog, my business card. I gave her all the things that I had. Like, oh my God, thank you. So that was my fun airport adventure. Everyone got to watch me in line for Southwest, trying to sit on my suitcase and close it and taking my printer out. And so I'm sure that was real fun for everyone. And I hope you guys enjoyed that visual.
Well, you can also share the before you got there airport story.
Oh,
Yeah, flash sale story.
Oh yeah, when I was on my way to New Orleans, I was flying out. My flight left was literally when the flash sale was starting last Thursday. Like literally my flight was due to take off at 11 a.m. Eastern time, which is when the flash sale was starting. And so I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss the sale. And I happened to strike up a conversation with this couple who was in line next to me while we were waiting to board, talking about different things, and I was giving them recommendations for good places to eat in New Orleans. And we were just chatting, and then the wife saw my backpack because I have my gray and purple Scentsy backpack, and I've got my little Milford the Moose on it right now, buddy clip. And she was like, "Oh my God, your backpack says Scentsy. Do you sell Scentsy?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And I'm already like fishing for my business cards and whatever and what have you. And she's like, "I love Scentsy so much." And I kind of jokingly told her about the flash sale. And I was like, "It's about to start right when our plane takes off. It's such a bummer." She already had her phone out and she had my business card and she was typing in my web address. And she was like, "Oh, honey, I'm a professional shopper. You don't even know. I'm going to get this sale. We aren't in airplane mode yet." Okay, go ahead. And I got her information. Her name was Kathy. And I was like, "Go for it." And we actually were a little delayed taking off. And I was in the middle. We weren't sitting near each other on the plane. And I was in the middle of like inputting my order when the plane finally did take off. So I didn't get to complete my order until I landed. And a couple of things had been taken out of my cart, but it wasn't a big deal. I still got stuff. But I noticed that she had actually gotten an order in, and she ordered like $150 worth of stuff. And I was like,
That is
"I'll never
awesome.
doubt. The next time somebody tells me they're a professional shopper, I will not doubt them."
Lisa, that is a true testament to not be Scentsy naked and have
Yeah.
your business cards or something with your
Yeah.
information on it anywhere you go, because you never know.
Always be branded. And that was all
Mhm.
I had on me on the way down there because all of my stuff was in New Orleans. So I only had business cards on me on the way down there. And I was like, "Here, take this." And they did have scent stickers on the back of them though. That's a good practice. If all you guys have are business cards on you, put some of those fragrance stickers
Rub
on,
and smell stickers. Yep.
and then rub and smell stickers. And then that's still a really great way to get all those scents under people's noses. But yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
testament to being branded. And a nice fun story. So
Yeah.
I missed out on the warmer bundles, but I still got some really great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, a couple people are reporting in that they're done.
Yeah.
Good job, Paula. Good job, Christina. Good job. I'm not sure HMAHON. I'm sure those are initials, but good job.
Lisa, I'm surprised
Heather.
you even bought a duffel bag. You should have just turned around and gave all your catalogs to everybody in line behind you.
I was trying to be quick. And you know what? I thought of you, Lydia, because I thought while I was doing that, I was like, "Man, I wish I had Lydia's little wear that you had at retreat." And you you shoved those sunglasses at me because you were just trying to give away stuff in your suitcase because you were just 50 pounds.
And I was on the dot,
Yeah.
on the dot.
I wish I had Lydia here to weigh my suitcase.
Actually, I borrowed that from Rand.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
that's right. You did.
Mhm.
I still have those sunglasses and I use them all the time, Lydia. So I'm actually really grateful that you gave them to me.
See, money well spent, and you didn't.
Yeah, because I
even wanna-
hate taking my glasses off and switching. And so these just go over. I mean, yeah, I look like an old lady, but I don't care.
Just staying in personality.
I mean, yeah, really? Yeah.
Helen.
Helen's got flair.
That's funny.
Hey, the flash sale was an $800 day for me. That was the biggest day I've had in a long time.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Wow.
Flash show was my biggest PRV day in quite a while too.
Yeah.
For that.
Lots of people went active. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice to see people get excited like that in the middle of like a January. So
Yeah.
Are we
It feels
looking
like-
to, go ahead.
Sorry, Robin. I was just gonna say, today feels like January 74th.
yeah, this month has felt like it's
Hey,
gone. forever.
Hey, don't criticize my birthday.
I'm not criticizing
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're gonna get a special message from me right now. Are you guys ready for this?
Mhm.
We have to
It's
see,
gonna be. Oh, you want to see my face for this special
Yeah.
message?
we want to see your
Oh.
face message.
Okay, hold on. I have to make sure I look presentable for this special message.
All right, hold on, because I can't see the screen if you need
Oh
me.
gosh, I look a hot mess.
Uh-uh,
You
you're
don't
cute.
look like a hot
Fine.
mess.
You're fine.
Listen, this is the second time you're getting this today, so
Hold on. I can't see the screen. I'm tracking my numbers really quick.
well, you don't need to see it. You just need to hear it.
Okay, I can hear.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Melissa. Happy birthday to you.
Aw,
And many more.
thanks, guys.
Until you're at least 100 and a lot more. And the dog
Funny.
singing to you also on the floor.
So we've got Kristen
Gravity
Simpson
takes
done,
over more and more every year.
Wendy
It's her
done,
best.
Kristen Hilton done. Heather
Good job.
done, Christina
These are
Hilton
rocking it
done,
out, writing
all
their
are
stuff
done.
down.
All right. Yeah, the flash sale that was heard, Kristen, your sentiments were heard quite a bit. I saw that posted a couple different places on Scentsy pages, that the flash sale is difficult for teachers. And
Mhm.
so, I know Debbie, Rachel's nodding. I know that was tough, especially when the flash sale doesn't last the 24 hours, which at this point, haven't we grown accustomed to knowing that when Scentsy says something is going to last for a certain amount of time, it's not going to last.
I mean, don't get it wrong. We make it work. There's quite a few of us
Yes.
in my building, and you see us all walking around with like our laptops or like huddling over each other if one gets in the queue. We definitely make it work because I
love
mean,
you.
I have to
Part of
tell
it.
you, I wish you weren't recording, but there was a time where it wasn't the flash sale because that was my lunch hour. I was like, I was something at a 1 o'clock lunch and I had a reading group and I'm like, okay, go do this. And when you're done, do this. And kids kept coming up to me. I'm like, I said, when you're done, do this. I'm like trying to order. But I was able to place 3 flash sale orders last week because I was on my lunch hour and I ordered, then I remembered something else. And then I went back and I went back 3 times.
All
I'll
right, so-
even like get teacher friends to come over and like look at my laptop who aren't even planning on getting anything, but they see how excited I get. So I'm like, huddle around. So I'm like just literally just adding things that I wasn't even planning on because they're seeing my excitement. So that
Yeah.
makes them want to look. And like, so I just like gain
Mhm.
orders from sitting at my desk.
Me too. I passed the phone to a coworker.
There you go.
All right, so keep working if you're still working. Don't stop. Let me ask you this question. What good will the numbers that we just wrote down be if we don't look at them again after tonight? Not good. Now, yes, I know you can look at this information in your workstation, but I want you to put them in a place where you're going to see them. So if it is in your planner that you look at every single day, that's great. For me, it's in a little book that I'm going to be using as my sale a day calendar as well. So this is something that's going to come with me all the time. So I will be able to, I wrote mine in the margin. So I will be able to look at mine. Was there anything that popped out at you when you wrote down 12 consecutive months of numbers? Was there anything that popped out? Maybe it was you were tired of writing 0 new recruits month after month. Maybe it was, dang, I sold over 2,000 for 6 straight months in a row. Or, gosh, I know I can do better than this. Was there anything that stood out to you when you were writing down your numbers? Any areas that you're like, maybe not?
The active frontline. I got 5 recruits last year and there's only 4 months that there was active frontline. So that's, I have a hard time choking that down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they want to sign up, but you can't lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yep.
So
True.
that's what I have a hard time with.
Yeah. And we have the double-edged sword of the lenient cancellation policy, right? So we like that when we're bringing people in, we like to be able to say to them, listen, you only have to sell $200 in 1 month out of 12. However, we get them in and then we want them to be active, right? And so it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you use that, if you use those words when you are signing someone up, oh, well, you only have to do 200 in a year. You can't then fault them for doing 200 in a year. So think about that. Think about that. It is, how, under what impression did they join under? It doesn't always translate to being an active frontline each month, right? So Wendy, what would you say then is, I mean, it's probably glaring you in the face, but
well, I have a couple that put orders in, but they don't put $200 in every month because they have clubs, so they're ordering. But then I have one who wanted, she's in her 70s and she wanted to, make a go of this, and she has put 1 order of $200 in. I coached her, I made her a binder, I made her stickers. It was very disappointing, but I knew going in this was going to be difficult for her. There's nothing else I could have done. I did everything I could have done.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are pretty much just hobbyists, which I knew going in. So, but there's a couple, one particular that I got higher hopes for, but she's got a baby due and she just moved into a new house. So obviously timing, give her a few more months. And I mean, I really want to seek out the people that want to jump in and go.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's really hard. There's such a small percentage of those people over the big picture.
Yeah.
That
Do you know what though, my friend?
you never know.
The more people you add, the higher your percentage of likelihood is that you're going to have the gold mine sitting on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And it
That
took
diamond
me
in the rough.
It took me till last year to all of a sudden start getting recruits. It is my biggest, weakest point. And then all of a sudden they were just there. I mean, that's a lot for me. I've never been in any kind of direct sales business that I've recruited more than one person. So
that's a big win
I've ever had.
That's great.
That is. And also asking, thank you, Nicole, also asking those 5 people that you do have, if they, because even if they're hobbyists, do they know anyone who might also be interested in doing Scentsy? Because remember, the growth of a team does not fall completely on your shoulders.
Right.
Your team can double overnight. You can go from a team of 1 to a team of 2 by adding someone, and from a team of 4 to add, or a team of 2 to team of 4 by adding people. And it doesn't always necessarily have to be you. Now, granted, you are the one out of your team that is truly working your business. And so the likelihood that the recruiter is going to be you is very high. However, you never know who somebody else knows. Because I look at so many of my frontline that are strong, or so many of my first generation directors, they weren't people that I personally recruited. They were somebody that someone else brought in and they have since left. And now, so you never know, but you never know who your team knows too.
Right.
So,
and that ladder of people, how it ends up being underneath you. Yeah. Yeah. So that's, that's definitely a goal of mine, is to get people that want to be active.
Yeah. Good. Good. But seeing this, and this is why this activity is effective, is when you're writing them, you're writing all the months
Mhm,
at the same time, like, because you
Mhm.
just did January, February, March.
Right.
You're seeing trends as
Right.
opposed to if you wrote them at the start of the month and then you didn't write February's until the start of February, then you didn't write March's until the start of March.
Right.
You may not pick up on the trend as much as you are when you do the 12 rolling months.
Right.
So there is something to sitting down and doing the 12 months all at once, because
Mhm.
when you're writing the same information in a row, you're able to see a trend.
Yeah.
Now,
And I also printed a spreadsheet of everybody that was under me, just because I have one person that's got one person under her. And that's helpful also for me to go back and see who was the active people during those months.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
and that's just it. You can look at, once you have the summary information,
Mhm.
you can dive in deeper. Robin, this is something that you were looking, Robin took a certification class with Scentsy on data analyzing and the bar report, which we all have on our workstations. Robin, did you want to speak to, I'm not putting you on the spot, but did you
Sure.
want to add anything in based on the certification that you just did with Scentsy?
Well, it was interesting that they talked about a lot of this data and how important it was, but then they didn't leave it at that. They talked about not being a report collector, that it doesn't do you any good to print off all these things and keep them in a binder and look at them once in a while and then do nothing with them. So every time you get data, it should be a call to action. When you get the data, what does it mean? What do you need to do? So you have to look at it as, is there a goal that you can do, something smart, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound? So is there something you could do about that? And then they also talked about a lot about writing down what you do each month. So not only, and we were talking about this on the director's call, not only what Scensy's doing as far as flash sales or bring back my bar or whatever else, or new LTOs that come out, but what else is going on? The plan ahead document. So you can look back next year and look at January and go, oh, well, all these things are going on. That's what contributed to those numbers I got. How can I replicate that? Or how can I mitigate the impact that some of those negative things had? Write down things that are going on in your life, like if you've had a loss, or if you had a new baby, or if you just switched a job. Those kind of things impact the ability to integrate Scentsy into your life and your life into Scentsy. And so you can't really keep them separate, and it's important to understand that. So I got a lot out of that report. But the biggest thing was, every time you look at data, you have to look at it and say, what does that mean to me as far as what do I need to do? If I've got a 0 and I should always have a 1 in every category, then what do I need to do?
Yeah.
So it's a call to action. Yeah.
Thank you, Robin.
Yep.
So everybody on January 19th should write flash sale, so that you know, because the work that you're doing today is setting you up for success in the future. Because in 2024, you're going to be able to look back at all that you tracked in 2023. We didn't have you do this last year, and so you don't have, and maybe you did do it on your own, but we didn't do something formal like this to have you be able to flip back to 2022 and see on which date things happened. But in January of 2023, on the 19th, we had a flash sale. So by putting that down, I will be able to use that as a reference point for why numbers jumped in the month of January. So in the chat, really quick, I know we're getting to the top of the hour. Every time I say it's going to be a shorter call, it never is. Every time. I just want to know one piece of information, and then we are going to revisit this and revisit this and revisit this and re-talk about this and check in with each other and hold each other accountable. We're going to do this over the course of the next 12 months. But in the chat, how many of you right now, as of January 24th, are beating January of 2022's numbers for your PRV? I'm talking PRV. If you are beating January 22's number with your PRV, say me. If you are not, put what you are short.
Oh.
I need to look.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah.
My look back was a little bit different, and I just wanted to share it real quick. I hope you don't mind, and that by no means am I bragging. But I set a goal for in 2022 never to be $2,000, and I just realized I was never under 2022. And I know, like, a lot of my numbers were close to 3,000, and my goal is to do 6,000 a month. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not crazy to me. But I was like really proud of myself because I didn't write it down. You wrote it down for me. And then I looked back and I was like, holy cow, I literally did it. I did a whole year of $2,000 or better.
That's
ever since you told me about that extra 5%, I think I've only missed it 1 month in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's been one time.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Jack. So Nicole, short, Nicole short 226, Wendy 708. Lisa, I don't know if the 1K, does that mean down 1,000 from last January? Jackie, does that mean you're down 1,100 from last January? Okay. So knowing that piece of information, it's hard to walk away from this call tonight without that being on your mind. Like, dang, I'm behind from last year. I'm not tracking as well as I did last January. We have 7 days, 6 days left in the month, 5 days, 6 days. I can't do math, left in the month. But knowing going into February that we are tracking ourselves against last year's numbers, will your perspective be a little bit different? Because, I mean, yes, anybody can make anything happen in 5 days, but we are now going into February knowing where we were last February, what we're measuring against, and what we want to be. Okay. We're going to continue to talk about this. We're going to continue to track information. If you start tracking your sales, if you start tracking the, what launches, if you start tracking LTOs, you can bring your calendar, your planner, your whatever you tracked on to Zoom on Tuesday nights. We will talk about things that you're focusing on, trends that you're seeing, shouting yourself out because you're beating last year. Jody, 7 days to sell 12 air purifiers. Going door to door. She said she's going to be like the Kirby vacuum salesman, but she's going to be selling air purifiers. I love it. So there are a lot of us in the chat, me included. I'm short 300 over last year's, my last year January numbers. But knowing that now, I'm like, okay, I need at least $300 in sales, $301 in sales in the next 5 days.
So Melissa,
yeah.
So I was thinking, because there's so many people that are down, and it may make a difference, it might not, but last year, this time, we were in transition month. So that may have made a difference, between this year and
yes.
Next year. So just something to
and
think about.
I love that you brought that up, because even I forgot that last January was transition month. So you're right.
And we didn't have a flash sale.
Things were going away.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Imagine if we didn't have a flash sale this January, compared how much more down that we would be compared to last year. So it isn't always, that's why keeping track of what happened in a month is important, because we're not always comparing apples to apples just because it's the same month as last year. Because really, realistically, comparing this January with a flash sale to last January, which was transition month, isn't really apples to apples. But without tracking that information, we don't know what we're comparing against. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for getting on tonight. I hope that you take to this activity and that it sets you up for success going into 2023. Like I said, we're going to talk about it a lot this year. So I really challenge and encourage you to keep up tracking the numbers. Track your PRV weekly, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever habit you want to get into, whatever routine you are willing to set. There is no such thing as tracking too much too often when it comes to measurable data. Okay. Robin?
Somebody is asking about drawing.
Drawing.
Oh,
I got it.
Fran.
Got it, I got it. All right, here we go. Christina Hill.
Oh, nice.
Yay! Christina Hill, you win the drawing for tonight, so watch your mailbox.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I didn't.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you got on.
Oh my God.
Me too.
Me too.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for sharing. Wait, I want to tell you one thing before you hang up. Let me finish that thought. Thank you so much for sharing your Tuesday night with me and with all of us. If you typically get on Thursday night shift during the week, I will save you. You get a Thursday night off this coming Thursday because I am doing this very training tonight on the Thursday night shift call on Thursday night. So the material is going to be the exact same. So if you typically show up to shift on Thursday nights, unless you want to show up because you never know what we're going to talk about and you never know where the conversation is going to go, so be it. But I just wanted to let you know that Thursday night's training will be a duplicate. And then we will have a virtual cubicle on Friday. So that will be open 10 a.m. on Friday for anybody that's able to hop on and work with us. Information will be posted in the Together We Scent Facebook page. And I appreciate you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of my birthday.
Have a good birthday evening.
Happy birthday, Melissa.
Bye, you guys.
Happy birthday.